Hello and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to make dried beans, how to cook dried beans from scratch. So there are lots of ways to do this. I'm old-fashioned, so I just do the old-fashioned stovetop method. I start with my dried beans. I picked these up at the farmer's market, so I got lucky and got some locally grown dried beans, but you can buy them in the packages at the store or even in the bulk bins is a really good way to go. So wherever you get your dried beans, that's how we'll start. And you want to soak them for at least 8 hours or overnight. So I like to soak mine in the same pan that I'm planning to cook them in. It saves a step. And simply adding the beans to the pot and covering them with a lot of water. So make sure they have plenty of room to absorb and expand, which they will do. So might as well fill that pot up with water and then you'll be sure to have enough. Now, after you've soaked them for 8 hours, you want to rinse them, drain and rinse them. And this is a really nice mesh drainer. It makes it really easy to just pour the water out into the sink and then you want to give them a quick rinse. So I've already done all that and now my beans are in my pot. I filled the pot with cold water and I'm bringing the heat to a simmer. So I put the water and the beans, cold water and the beans in the pot at the same time. And now I've turned that heat up high. I'm bringing it to a simmer and I'm going to let them start to cook. Once they start to cook, I'll lower the heat and just let them simmer for an hour to an hour and a half, and then they'll be done. A couple of notes about beans. First of all, they are easier to cook than you think. You don't have to monitor them, but what you do want to make sure is that once they come to a boil, you let them continue to simmer at that same rate of heat, at that same heat level. And if you have to add more water, which hopefully you won't because you filled your pot to the top, but if you do have to add more water, add boiling water. If you add cold water, it will stop the beans even temporarily from cooking and it could affect the result. And the other good thing to know about beans is you don't have to be paying attention super closely because unless you overcook them by like an hour, they'll remain intact and remain delicious. You just want to get them to the point where they're fully cooked. So that could be an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on the variety you use. And there's a bean cooking chart on my website that will help you to determine what style of beans you want to cook, whether you not need to soak them or not, and how long to cook them for. So most beans do need to be soaked. Lentils are the exception, but you'll get all that information in the bean cooking chart. So simply click on the link below to find that chart, download and print it, keep it handy. So it's really easy for you to cook beans from scratch.